Just a robot. Before I get into this video, I just want to say a few things. The reason why I link the video down below is so you can see it for yourself. With longer videos like this one, I tend to edit a lot out. Because of this, some people might think I'm taking their words out of context or twisting them around. I link the video down below so you can see the original for yourself and come to your own conclusion. With that being said, let's get on with the video. Feminism for Dummies.
Hello everyone, today I'm with my friend Hannah Witten.
Hello.
This is a real life proper feminist.
Oh.
She's so professional. No, but in all seriousness, you know a lot about the subject, more than I do. And I did a video on it earlier in the month. We wrote it down.
Very professional.
One of the main comments that I got was basically, I'm not a feminist, but I'm for gender equality because men have issues too.
Okay.
What do you think?
I have a lot of thoughts about this. So the first thing...
You probably already noticed that there's a lot of jump cuts in this video. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, just a robot. You're one to talk. You have jump cuts all the time. And yes, while I do have a jump cut every now and then, I don't nearly have as many as this person.
So the first thing about labels, whether you label yourself a feminist, an equalitist, a humanist, I used to be very much, if you don't call yourself a feminist, then you're an asshole.
If you don't consider yourself a feminist, then you're a bigoted asshole.
And now I'm kind of a bit more like, call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, but don't be an asshole.
Wow, that's actually really nice of you. Because of that, I'm going to try to be as nice as I can throughout this video.
The best way to explain this is to talk about why I, specifically me, use the word feminist. Feminism is for gender equality. So even if you say you're not a feminist but for gender equality, me too, I'm for the same thing. But the way that I think about it is that if you don't call yourself a feminist, then you're not recognizing the systematic historical oppression against women.
I and many others already understand the historical oppression against women. It's just nowadays, in Western countries, feminism has already done its job, and it's just making up reasons to stay relevant, like complaining about manspreading.
We've come a long way, and yes, men have issues too, women have issues, everywhere else in between on the gender spectrum have issues.
Sorry, but according to biology, there are only two genders. Now I know what you're thinking, what about trans people? Well, a trans person is someone who is transferring into another gender. They're not a mystical third gender, they're the gender they identify with. Also, if you're thinking about hermaphrodites, or people who are born without genitalia, I really hate to break it to you, but that's a birth defect.
Usually all these issues are due to the patriarchy, which is this invisible system. The reason why I call myself a feminist is because I recognize the fact that even though the patriarchy screws men and women over equally, historically and currently so, women do bear the main brunt of it.
I'm sorry, but you can't have it both ways. Either the patriarchy hurts men and women equally, or women get the main brunt of it. You can't have it both ways.
So that's why I use it. And women and men suffer differently. The things that the patriarchy makes shit for them are very different things. Most of the time, men benefit from the patriarchy.
I'm really not trying to sound mean here, but if the patriarchy hurts men and women equally, then how are men benefiting from it?
For example, I was watching a video yesterday on how the majority of Hollywood movies have females in a kind of sexy costume.
Things are not the way they are just because. The reason why a lot of TV shows and movies have women in sexy costumes is because sex sells. Now granted, I would like to see more men in sexy costumes, and especially robots in sexy costumes. But the main thing I'm trying to get at is that there's a reason why women are in sexy costumes. And that reason is because sex sells.
The Bechdel test is a thing for like storytelling, and it's used in film a lot. And for a film to pass the Bechdel test, you need two female named characters who talk to each other about something other than a man. And if
Funnily enough, that's really hard to find.
Actually, they're not very hard to find at all. Here's what you need to do to find a movie that passes the Bechdel test. Just watch any movie that isn't a rom-com. Seriously, the person who came up with the Bechdel test was probably one of those people who watch way too many romantic comedies.
The men's issues thing I've been thinking about a lot recently, because basically men get screwed over by the patriarchy as well because of the expectations of masculinity and what that means. The main thing that a lot of people bring up is the fact that the biggest killer of young men is suicide, and actually men have really high rates of mental health problems because it's not seen as like manly or strong to talk about your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if men could open up and talk about their feelings more often, but there is a problem with that. Some women will use those feelings against a man to get them to do what they want. Now, I'm not saying you do this, but some women do it. And let's not forget about the infamous male tears mugs.
Everyone has a different experience of being a woman. Intersectional feminism is where that comes in, and it's about recognizing different identities. So taking race into account, taking class into account, taking sexuality into account, all of these different things, and recognizing that everyone's experience is going to be different, and therefore feminism needs to accommodate to the different needs of different women. We're going to mess up because we have privilege, and we're going to mess up because there are some things that we just don't notice. Mm-hmm. But our job is to sit and listen to people with less privilege than us, and then basically support them.
Yes, but do we have to support them no matter what? What if a black person says all white people should die? Should we support them then?
So do you agree with Malcolm X that white people should be killed? Is that why you're here?
You damn right I do!
You do?
I like to use the analogy of feminist goggles. So once you see the patriarchy, you have these goggles on, and you can't unsee it. Uh-huh. It's everywhere. It literally is everywhere. You can see it. And it's exhausting, it's tiring, it's scary. But that doesn't mean we can't take them off.
Hold on a second. You said...
So once you see the patriarchy, you have these goggles on, and you can't unsee it.
But then you're saying...
That doesn't mean we can't take them off.
I'm really not trying to be mean here, but you're contradicting yourself a lot. You really should proofread your script next time, or at the very least edit these parts out.
I like to take my feminist goggles off sometimes when I'm watching a film that I know has just is really sexist, but I'm just going to enjoy this film.
There was an Onion article about a feminist who took a break from being a feminist so she could enjoy her TV show. Keep in mind, The Onion is parody news, but you and many other feminists are becoming that parody. I'm really not trying to sound like an asshole, but why would you be part of something that ruins things for you? Try to look at the positivity in life. You'll soon see that there's a lot more beauty in the world than you once thought.
A classic casual sex and rape joke here and there. Exactly. Ooh. Well, this morning, I went for a run and got catcalled. I hadn't even been awake for an hour.
Could you please define catcalling? I know that sounds like a strange question, but some people say the word good morning is catcalling.
How are you this morning?
For people who don't experience sexism, it's really hard to see. So for us, it's really hard for us to see racism because we're not victims of it.
I'm not trying to twist your words around or anything, but it kind of sounds like you're saying you can't be a victim of racism because you're white. Now, I don't know if you're saying that for sure, but if you believe that only women can face sexism, or only everybody who's not white can face racism, please tell me. I would generally like to know.
What I always try and do is listen and believe people when they tell you that they're experiencing something. If someone says, this happened to me because of sexism, racism, or whatever it is, don't be I don't believe you, but it doesn't happen that often, does it? Or doubt them or make them doubt themselves. You just accept what they say and believe them, really believe them and support them in whatever way they need.
Sorry, but I don't believe people just because they have a specific race or gender.
There was this 17-year-old girl that did a talk, and she was doing music A-level, and she noticed that all of the composers on her syllabus were male. She took edXL, the examining body, got a petition to get female composers on it, and she won.
Hold on a second. Was the school not allowing female composers? I highly doubt that is the case. So what was really stopping women from being composers? And this whole story about the petition thing, it really sounds like these women were pressured into being composers.
And like a big phrase that was going on at Women of the World Festival is if you can't see it, you can't be it.
That is completely untrue. The very first astronauts didn't have anybody to look up to. They didn't see it, yet they became it. Also, another good example is the very first, well, anything really.
Wow.
This has been well serious. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
We're all problematic.
We're also all sinners.
Yeah.
Like, the main thing is how people deal with the criticism.
Thanks for watching with Adam.
Yep. Good.
Now, I know I wasn't as mean or as funny as I am in some of my other videos, but tell me what you guys think. Do you like it when I'm more nice and serious, or do you like me when I'm more mean and funny? Tell me in the comments down below. But before I end this video off, I would like to say a few more things. I'm getting sick and tired of talking about feminists all the time. I want to talk about something that has to do with gender equality. Something similar, but it's on the other side. Oh, I know. MGTOW.
Bye. Bye.